Level 1. The Cadet, age 18. You will serve 2 countries under one desk, and only one of them will admit it existed. Right now, that means nothing to you. You're 18. You haven't been recruited yet. You've been selected, which is a different word for a reason you won't understand for another 20 years. By the time this ends, the flag behind your director's chair will have changed twice. The building won't have moved once, and you'll still be inside it, wondering which version of yourself was ever the real one. This is your life, rank by rank, inside the most feared intelligence apparatus in the world. This is the KGB. And this is what happens when it becomes something else entirely.
You didn't apply. That's the part people never understand about this institution. A teacher filed a report about you 2 years ago. Attentive, disciplined, unusually good at remembering conversations word for word. A neighbor mentioned your family's loyalty during a routine census interview. None of it felt like anything at the time. Then a letter arrives, and you understand that you were being watched long before you ever knew what watching meant.
The higher school sits outside Moscow, a compound that doesn't appear on public maps. 40 cadets in your intake. Your instructor is a man named Polkovnik Sergei Volkov, and he has a habit that unsettles everyone faster than shouting ever could. He says almost nothing. He watches. He lets silence do the work that other schools use punishment for. Training is split 3 ways: physical, endurance, hand-to-hand, weapons handling; academic, foreign languages, history, law; and a third category that has no clean name, taught in a room with no windows: psychological evaluation, loyalty assessment, the study of how people lie and what it costs them to keep doing it.
One cadet, a boy from Rostov, is gone by the 6th week. No announcement. His bunk is simply empty one morning. His name absent from the roster read aloud at breakfast. You ask no one. No one asks you. Volkov speaks to your class only once that first month. "We don't train you to follow orders," he says. "We train you to notice what others miss." You write it down. You don't yet know it will be the sentence you measure your entire career against.
Level 2. Junior Lieutenant, age 21. Your first posting is domestic, a mid-sized industrial city, unremarkable, the kind of place nobody imagines needs watching. Your handler is a veteran named Andrei Titov, 17 years in, who eats the same lunch every day at the same bench and has never once, as far as you can tell, been in a hurry. Your job has a clean name and a complicated reality: informant development. You are not the one gathering information. You are the one convincing other people to gather it for you. A factory supervisor, a postal clerk, a woman who works the front desk of a hotel where foreign engineers occasionally stay.
Titov teaches you the only rule that matters at this level. You don't need everyone to talk, he says. You just need one. You spend 4 months on a single informant, a shift manager at the textile plant, before he agrees to report anything at all. And when he finally does, it's something almost embarrassingly small. A comment made in a break room about delayed shipments. It doesn't matter that it's small. What matters is that the channel now exists. Titov doesn't celebrate it. He simply writes the date in a ledger and moves your attention to the next name on a much longer list.
Level 3. Lieutenant, age 24. You're selected for the first chief directorate, foreign intelligence, and the work changes shape entirely. You are no longer watching people around you. You are being built into someone else.
Your instructor for this phase is a man who goes only by Colonel Bykov, and his subject is what the service calls your legend, a fabricated identity so complete you could recite your fictional mother's maiden name faster than your real one, a cover profession, a cover education, a cover reason for the gaps in your biography that a real background check would otherwise flag. Your real name is now a liability Bykov tells you during your final session. Forget it slowly, not suddenly. A sudden forgetting looks like training. A slow one looks like a life. You learn dead drops, a hollowed brick in a specific wall, a chalk mark on a lamppost that means the drop is loaded. You learn surveillance detection routes, walking the same 3 streets in Moscow for hours until you can identify, without looking directly at anyone, whether you were being followed.
Your first test is small and almost anticlimactic. A solo exercise, walking your legend through a crowded train station while 2 instructors you cannot identify watch to see if you break character even once. You don't. Bykov's only comment afterward? Adequate. You understand, even then, that adequate is the highest praise this stage of the work allows.
Level 4, Senior Lieutenant, age 27. You're posted abroad, Western Europe, embassy cover, a job title that exists only on paper. Your actual assignment is recruitment, identifying someone with access to information your service wants and convincing them to give it up. The target is a mid-level ministry employee named Klaus Reiner, a man with a modest salary, an expensive divorce behind him, and a resentment toward his employer he hasn't fully admitted to himself yet. You don't approach him directly. You spend 3 months as a friendly acquaintance at the same chess club before the conversation ever turns toward anything useful. There are 3 doors into a recruitment like this, and you learn to read which one is open before you try any of them. Money, ideology, or the simple human need to matter to someone. Reiner's door is the 3rd one. He isn't greedy, and he isn't political. He's lonely, and you are, for the first time in months, someone who listens to him. People don't betray their country, you tell a colleague later, repeating something Bykov once told you. They betray a version of themselves they were tired of being. Reiner starts small, a schedule here, a memo there. Small enough that he can still tell himself he hasn't really done anything. You know better. You also know now that his safety is your responsibility in a way it never was before. If he's caught, it isn't only his failure.
Level 5, Captain, age 31. You're running a network now. 4 assets across the region, each one compartmentalized from the others. Each one a separate set of dead drops, separate schedules, separate cover stories you have to keep straight without ever writing them down together.
This is where the job stops being about people and starts being about systems. You think in rotations. You think in patterns that shouldn't repeat too often. You think about what happens if one asset goes silent. Is it caution or is it capture? And how long do you wait before you decide which? One of your assets, a woman named Elena Markov, who has been reliable for 2 years, misses a scheduled drop. Then a second one. There is no message, no explanation, nothing. A network doesn't fail all at once, you tell the junior officer assigned to help you monitor the situation. It fails one silence at a time.
You never learn, not with certainty, whether Markov was compromised, defected, or simply grew afraid and stopped. The file closes without an ending. You carry the not knowing forward, the way you'll learn every officer at this level eventually does.
Level 6, Major, age 35. You're recalled to Moscow, 2nd Chief Directorate, Domestic Counterintelligence. The direction of the work reverses completely. For a decade, you searched for people willing to betray their country. Now you search for people inside your own who might be doing exactly that.
Wiretap authorizations cross your desk daily, surveillance assignments on foreign diplomats, and increasingly, quiet internal reviews of Soviet citizens whose loyalty has been questioned by someone, somewhere, for reasons that don't always make it into the file. An investigation opens on a man named Viktor Chernin, a colleague, not a stranger, someone you've shared a briefing room with more times than you can count. The evidence is circumstantial, a financial irregularity, a conversation, secondhand, that sounded wrong to whoever reported it, The hardest cases were never the foreigners, you say to no one in particular, late one night reviewing the file. They were the ones who used to sit beside you. The investigation into Chernin runs for months. It never resolves cleanly. He's quietly transferred to a lesser posting, and neither of you ever discusses why. And you understand that this, the unresolved, the permanently ambiguous, is simply what the work looks like at this level. Level 7, Lieutenant Colonel, age 39. You're given a department, political surveillance, monitoring dissidents, writers, academics whose work has drawn attention from someone above your pay grade. The scope of the job expands past anything you trained for at 18. This isn't counter-espionage anymore. This is watching your own citizens for the moment before a thought becomes an action. A writer named Mikhail Doronin has a file that's been growing for 2 years before it reaches your desk. Essays that never quite say anything prosecutable. Conversations reported by informants who may or may not have understood what they were reporting.
We were never watching for crimes, you tell a junior officer, reviewing the file alongside you. We were watching for the moment before one. You say it the way Baikov once explained your legend to you, clinically, procedurally. It's only afterward, alone, that the weight of the sentence catches up to you. You've spent 20 years building the skill of noticing what others miss. You're only now starting to notice what that skill has actually been used for.
Level 8, Colonel, age 44. This is where the ground moves. It's 1991, and the institution you've given your adult life to is dissolving in real time. Emergency directives arrive about file destruction. Decades of records, some of them yours, shredded or burned in courtyards across the country over a matter of weeks. Colleagues resign. Ranks that meant something a year ago suddenly mean nothing to anyone outside the building. A senior officer you've known for 15 years, General Orlov, submits his resignation on a Tuesday and is gone by Friday, and nobody organizes so much as a farewell. There isn't time. There isn't, anymore, an institution capable of organizing one.
The country changed its name, you say to a colleague, watching a red flag come down outside for the last time. The building didn't move. Neither did we. Within months, the KGB is formally dissolved. A new name appears on the letterhead, the FSB. The desks are the same. Most of the people are the same. Only the sign outside has changed.
Level 9, Major General, FSB, age 49. The structure survived. You understand this more clearly now than you did during the collapse itself. The building is the same. The corridors are the same. The priorities have shifted. Organized crime, oligarch surveillance, a new interest in Western intelligence services that never really went away, just changed uniforms. A young recruit is assigned to shadow you for a rotation, and you find yourself repeating things Volkov told you 3 decades ago, almost word for word, before you even realize you're doing it. Old KGB files, the ones that survived the purge of 1991, still turn out to be useful. A name that resurfaces, a pattern that repeats across a new era with a new name attached to it.
They tore down the sign outside, you tell the recruit, watching him take notes the way you once did. They kept everyone who worked underneath it. He writes it down like it's wisdom. You're not entirely sure it is. You're not entirely sure it isn't, either.
Level 10, Retirement, age 61. You sit in an apartment in Moscow that's smaller than the one you had at the height of your career and larger than the one you started in. There's no ceremony, no gymnasium full of colleagues reading off a list of accomplishments the way it might happen somewhere else. Just a quiet afternoon and a lifetime of names you were never supposed to say out loud, even now. You think about the boy from Rostov who disappeared in week 6 of training and wonder, still, what became of him. You think about Elena Markov, whose silence never resolved into an answer. You think about Klaus Reiner, whether he ever told anyone what he did, whether it mattered to him the way it mattered to you. One afternoon,
A letter arrives. No return address. Postmarked from a country you served in decades earlier. Inside, unsigned, a single line. I hope it was worth what it cost you. You don't know who sent it. You have theories. You keep the letter anyway.
I served 2 countries with the same name badge, you say, to the empty apartment, to no one, and never once had to change what I believed. That should have worried me more than it did. You sit with that for a long time before you turn off the light. If this changed how you see the machine behind the Iron Curtain, comment which agency you want broken down next. Subscribe if you're new here. This channel goes somewhere most people only ever imagine from the outside.